Mr. Chairman, the biggest provider of machinery in this town is Mantruck and Fulham. And an excavator with the taxes inclusive, the maximum will be 1.4. Without taxes, they will give you at 1 million. That's per day, dry rate.
You mean the biggest service provider of this machinery for hire or sale?
Both. Mantruck
hires also?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other one would be Fulcrum.
What happens if they put up the advert and Mantruck doesn't respond? Thinking aloud.
Mr. Chairman,
especially given now that we do not have, yes, now that we do not have the, yes, Honorable Kayondo. I did not want, are you done, Honorable Muzali? Let Muzali finish, Kayondo come in, the ED will clarify.
Mr. Chairman, I was looking at all these equipments listed in here. The bulldozer is equal the same. It carries the same rate as an excavator. Water bowser, of course, they vary basing on their size, but equally this rate is extremely high. Lastly, Mr. Chairman, unless KCCA is not interested in owning equipment, but maybe the director engineering is doing a disservice to the institution. Otherwise, they would easily acquire equipment on lease without even paying cash.
That's the question I was going to ask the ED as she comes in to clarify after the Honorable Kayondo. That if you can buy land on hire purchase, what would stop you from buying equipment on the same terms, especially where you already have 3.1 billion that you can use in 1 year? I thought if you bought equipment on terms that we can pay you in 3 years, the same money you're using to hire, you would use it to buy and find it actually cheaper. Kayondo?
Chair, I think ED is hiding some information here.
Just bring out the information.
Yes, that's the information.
Don't
I think
impute.
ED is hiding some information here.
Yeah, don't impute that
because
motive.
If you are talking of an excavator at 2.5 and you call that higher, no. Can you break down the hiring we are talking of here? Tell us the fuel, tell us the repairs. Is it included on this? Because if it is included on this, then you are reducing the cost of hire. If you are talking of the fuel, if you are talking of the repairs, then you are reducing the cost of hire. If you are talking of the lorry that delivers them to the site, so please be specific here. Is this 2.5?
I think your question is legitimate, please. But the packaging...
No, I want to package it that way because I see she's not giving us...
You represent some island.
She's giving us a wrong impression. Because, no.
Chair, I ask for a clarification.
Okay, before the Honorable Mwada comes in, let's hear the ED.
No, Chair, I'm finishing. Honorable Muzali was clear.
Yeah.
On the ground, you get an equipment at 1.5. That is higher. The consumption a day is 360 liters. We know the rate of repair. So please give us this information. Otherwise, this money should be added on this, so it shouldn't be 2.5. It's either 3 million or less. Please clarify on that.
Finished, but you inform the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, KCCA has budget lines. you'll find a budget line for oils and other things and fuel. These are dry rates. These are dry rates which are here. They do not include fuel. So that's the information I wanted to give my colleague. This doesn't have fuel. This is dry rate.
Chair, may I
And
be allowed
this
to
one
Mr. Chairman,
is
it's
supposed to be
information.
for
No.
8 hours.
Let's hear Eddie. You come in later. Eddie?
Chairperson, I would like to clarify or to add on to the information I gave that the hire includes, it is wet lease. It is wet lease. It also has operation and maintenance and insurance. Thank you.
But Chair, if we were to get the actual figures for this wet hire,
Kayondo, listen to the witness.
the wet hire cost is 3.7 billion, whereas purchasing reduces annualized the cost to 2.5 billion after considering depreciation, fuel, and maintenance. Annualized the purchase cost, including fuel, operations, maintenance, and depreciation, is 2.5 billion. So the initial capital outlay is 4.2 billion. So still, we did this assessment and calculation. If you went into purchase, you would reduce the cost by 32%. That is the assessment that was
Do you
made.
mean this is information that was availed both to the Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance?
Chair, they have this information, including the problems associated with the hire before the Kiteezi debacle. Mr. Chairman, I wrote personally to the Prime Minister, and this information was forwarded to the Prime Minister, and how Nippon has made a kill out of this hire business. Because you're asking which company, I was talking about Mantra. Nippon enjoys monopoly there. Right from inception, when Kiteezi was removed from Otada, Otada was the one managing it before, the former MP. Now, when it came back to KCCA, we decided to hire Nippon equipment. Nippon has been enjoying a monopoly all through. So the entire budget almost has been going to Nippon. Yet when you go to Kiteezi, and we wanted an audit to be conducted, if indeed there was any serious maintenance, the justification given for hire is that maintenance is rather expensive on our side. And also protection of our equipment is problematic. I have an audit report here.
How problematic is it? What
Oh,
do you
yes.
mean by protection?
Yes,
That it
I'll
would be
tell you
stolen?
this, Chair. I have the Auditor General report of 2011-2012, which was assessed by processed by our Internal Public Accounts Committee, and they have presented the latest report, 2025, January 2025. They indicated that our way bridge at Kiteezi was stolen by KCCA officials and took it to Rwanda.
Rwanda.
They stole it and took it to Rwanda. This is Auditor General and Public Accounts Committee. I have the report here. We have had occasion to discuss it internally with the ED and the entire team. We even had a retreat on this audit report. We went to Entebbe and said, can we take action to fight against this kind of thuggery?
Mr. Chairman, some
The officials took the way bridge.
clarification.
They took it to
Let
Rwanda
him
and sold it
first
to Rwanda. Yes? They are
Clarification.
known. They are known. Those who
Mr.
stole
Chairman,
it.
clarification.
So the problem with the hire, the problem with the purchase, again, is the protection. You will purchase and the equipment will be sold. Like this way bridge was sold by KCCA officials to Rwanda. How they even crossed the border and took the way
Mr. Chairman,
bridge.
clarification. Clarification.
No, it was,
Clarification, Mr. Chairman.
okay, clarification.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I have two issues
Please share that report
for the
with
road
us
mayor
now.
to
Somebody pick it.
clarify. Mr. Chairman, one, the originator of the budget of the authority should be the authority where the road mayor is the chairperson. So, what is the role of the authority, the council, to the budget, and what did they recommend? Did they recommend higher or purchase. That we want those evidence from the council to see if someone worked contrary to what council, the authority decided. That's one. Two, you have talked about safety. Can we get the police reference report? You have, at any time it came to your knowledge, you are accountable. You should have reported to police.
Yeah,
So, the final point, Mr. Chairman, is that the cost of hire depends on when you repay. If you hire and you are going to pay in the first quarter, it's different from when you are not going to pay within 6 months. So that one.
I think on the last one, either way it is balanced by the fact that you can buy on higher purchase terms. But just listen to this, the report that has been given to me, that in the year 2011-2012, Auditor General's report, 2 way bridges were stolen by KCCA officials from the garbage collection site at Kiteezi and sold in Rwanda. A memorandum which was received by the CPAC dated 22nd February 2012 showed that a brand new way bridge was stolen and replaced with an old one, an old and dysfunctional way bridge. To date, there is no functional way bridge to measure the quantities of garbage delivered at the landfill. Contained in this memorandum was also a recommendation that the Office of ED and police work hand in hand with the former Assistant Town Clerk, KCCA, Kawempe, to lead to the perpetrators who sold the way bridges. However, this matter has since stalled and currently no efforts are going on to recover these way bridges. Recommendation: the Executive Director through the Legal Department should direct KCCA CID to follow up this matter and apprehend those involved in the scam for purposes of recovering the way bridges. Mwadanku nyingi, the way bridges were stolen from your constituency.
Thank you,
Please
Chair.
explain.
Chair, I'm also here to seek answers from KCCA. And Chair, starting from this document titled the Kiteezi Landfill Actual Expenditure. Now,
First, let's admit the document named copy named the Kampala Capital City report of the Kampala Capital City Public Accounts Committee, dated or issued in January 2025, which is admitted accordingly on our record. And technical, please, you need to go through this and process it.
thank you, Chair. Now, Chair, my principal concern is that whereas we are looking at the figures and the cost of hiring, to which I agree that the best approach will be to procure. But alleging that this is an expenditure on Kiteezi landfill, when for the several times I've personally visited the landfill when it was operational, even at the tragedy, KCCA had no machinery. We need to interrogate the would-be hiring agreements, how these machineries were hired, how they were deployed, because they are saying Kiteezi, yet on the ground there was no machinery, even at the time of the tragedy. We need to interrogate, were they only paying, but these machineries were not actually deployed? Because we have questions on the ground, whether these machineries were deployed on the ground. When it comes to the stealing and the thuggery of government property, I think, Mr. Chair, using your powers, we can even arrest some of the thieves now. Because the road mayor is saying the names are known, and they are officers of KCCA. Would the road mayor give us the names? And, Chair, since the report has been admitted,
Can you show me the thieves now?
the road mayor said the names are known. So the road mayor could assist the committee with the names. Chair, you make an appropriate ruling. But, Chair, principally,
I will make a ruling.
Principally, the deployment of this machinery on the ground must be interrogated. They may be paying machinery which are not brought on the ground. At least for Kiteezi landfill, even when a tragedy befell, there would be slide. All rescue machinery was brought from outside, Uganda Police and other agencies. Where is this machinery? as alleged.
Maybe, Lord Mayor, who did you hand over the way bridge to? The way bridge.
Well,
Bridges, there were two.
There were two.
Who did you hand them
No,
over?
they were installed at Kiteezi.
Yes.
When they were installed there, it was at a time when there was that
Procedure, Mr.
transition
Chairman.
from Otada
Yes.
to KCCA now managing it directly.
Yes.
And during that process, those officials got those web bridges. And
Now, who are the officials?
you see, Chair, that's why I made reference to the law. And
Yes.
in the initial proceedings here indicated, under section 58, subsection 10 of KCCA Act, the executive director and I are mandated to implement the recommendation of the Auditor General
Yes.
and the Public Accounts Committee. So
Yeah.
when we went to Entebbe to go through this, we had
Yes.
we noted Entebbe clause by clause. We looked at the recommendation there. It was very clear that the director legal should work with the DPP, no,
Police
with the
CID.
police CID and cause the arrest. Now the director legal is here.
Procedure, Mr. Chairman.
And here we have
Procedure.
police.
Procedure, Honorable.
Procedure, Mr. Chairman.
Procedure, Kwizera.
The Chairman, I want you to invoke your powers and you put the road mayor on oath because the statement is making a very important and grave
A procedure.
and we'll help this committee. Wouldn't it be right, Mr. Chairman, for the road mayor to be put on oath and during the presentation he makes fresh submission and indicates, even mentions the people who he knows that took the way bridge and sold to Rwanda.
Information.
Because this information is very important for
Information.
police. I thank you.
Chair was offering him information.
I have to rule on the procedure.
Chair, I was offering him information that the road mayor's document has been admitted by the committee.
Yes.
So we can ably refer to it.
We will read the report. The information he's giving us, even when he's not on oath, is still credible. If you read the rules, by the way, you go on oath where someone has contradicted himself. It is not in every case where you think evidence will be important. But even evidence which is not on oath is important. Honorable Bakabulindi.
Thanks very much, Chair. We seem to be taking long and mixing issues. Lord Mayor made a statement that he cannot even go in for the policy of purchasing because they are going to be stealing. Isn't it? No, wait. And then you are saying, you know the people of KCC who stole and took to Rwanda. Oh, wait. To me, without even wasting time, why don't you mention the names so that we finish that one and we deal with another area? We're just rotating around the names, the KCC, are they still there or they left? Mention the names. If the legal department which we are referring to, then after mentioning the names, we shall ask the legal officer, where are your colleagues? How far did you go?
Okay. Lord Mayor, would you answer that?
With all due respect, Chair, I wanted to restrict myself to the mandate I have under the KCC Act, Section 58, subsection 10, to implement the resolution,
Okay.
the recommendation of the Public Accounts
Director
Committee.
Legal, you were given instructions to work with the CID to cause the apprehension. Where are your results?
Honorable Chairman, it's true that during I think it was last year in the strategic planning retreat, when we were making reflections on where we've been and where we're going, the Lord Mayor raised this issue, that 13 years ago, way bridges were stolen from Kiteezi, and that there was an allegation that some of our staff then sold them, and the CID had been asked to do that investigation. Yeah, 13 years ago. So
About 2012.
yeah, it's 13 years ago. So when he informed us of that, I committed to ask our current CID team to dig it up and give a report to management. This happened a few months ago. It was when we had the retreat. So this investigation is ongoing, but we can follow up and find out how far it has gone. But for now, I don't have any latest update on that.
If you mark the words you have used, Mr. Frank Rusa, we can follow up.
We will.
So that means you've not been following up.
No, when that instruction was made, CID was informed. So CID has not yet updated us.
Can you share with us a reference and the instructions to CID?
We have got a CID unit attached to KCCA.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Can you give us evidence of that instruction?
Okay, we will do that.
Was it verbal?
We called for a meeting and had a conversation, but it was recorded in minutes of the meeting.
Let's have that by close of business today. I had Honorable Mzale.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, this is an incident that happened in 2012. And the reports are out in 2025. The PAC report. So, the CPAC report. So, Mr. Chair, I need to be perhaps helped to understand. What was the reason of failure to identify the problem there and then, where we have so many departments responsible for management?
Proceed, Honorable Mzale.
Mr. Chairman, my concern is one. The incident happens in 2012. It's being reported on 2025. I just want to understand what happened in there, because we have the internal auditors system, we have the one who was responsible
actually,
for that.
to supplement yours for contextualization, the report manages to even identify where the way bridges were sold. That would call for intervention of even Interpol.
Mr.
Because
Chairman,
wait,
Chairman, there I need some clarification. There.
And by the way,
when was
the way bridges went through your constituency.
But when was it noticed? When was it noticed that it is missing?
You see, the problem we are dealing with, why it's bigger and more complex, is that this was identified by the auditors. Was it auditors? First, it was identified by the auditors, by the Auditor General. Then it goes to CPAC, the City Public Accounts Committee. Now, the tracking would involve CID interfacing with the auditors to give them part of the information they received, how they even came to identify where the way bridges were sold. CID, working with ESO and Interpol, would even go and identify where, and would even get to know who, foreign relations, that you have your property stolen and found in another jurisdiction, in a neighboring jurisdiction. Now, we do not even know whether where they were sold is a facility managed by the government or by a private player like ours here. I think it is bigger than that. Frank Rusa, would you call your CID officer who is handling this matter now? We will give you a minute to excuse yourself. Call that CID officer or the head to come here now. Wait. Note on this. Please do that. Honorable Itungo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bend over here. Chair, can I?
Honorable Kabulindi, I will manage the proceedings properly. Honorable Itungo?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've not gotten an opportunity to look at the report, but I would imagine after raising the issue, there is an explanation of the accounting officer. And Mr. Chairman, Article 164 of the Constitution is very clear on the matters of accountability. That even when the accounting officer ceases to hold the office, he can still be summoned to account. And Mr. Chairman, Article 9 of the Constitution and our rules of procedure gives us powers as a committee to summon any person. So, Chair, why don't we trace who was the accounting officer to come and account? As we summon the CIDs, who was the accounting officer by then, and why didn't the person come and account for that query, Mr. Chairman?
Ale?
Mr. Chair, I think to be helped, we need the auditors who identified the problem. Maybe they can be able to explain more. Because they'll be able to tell us how they got to know the problem, and I'm very sure they have the names. If they were able to know that the equipments cross the border from Uganda to
I think
Rwanda.
internally we are going to identify the auditors. Don't forget that the Auditor General is our staff. We will get there. You know, what is disturbing, first of all, is we want to know in which audit report that matter came up. Lord Mayor, which report was this?
2011, 2012. But it was specifically 2011.
So it means that the audit report of 2011-12 was only reviewed in 2025 by the CPAC.
Chair, it's a long story.
Yes.
For several years, we didn't have CPAC. Yes, there were fights against the constitution of the CPAC. At least since 2011, I've been around, and I've been struggling to have CPAC in place. Finally, it is in place. But that time, there was no CPAC.
So it is dealing with the backlog.
Exactly.
Who was the accounting officer at the time?
Chair, those were the days of impeachment.
No, but there was an accounting officer.
The accounting officer was Jenifer Musisi.
Good. Okay. I think before we even zero on whether to request the presence of the accounting officer, we want to look to read this report, including the Auditor General's report in issue. We would invite, therefore, Madam Jenifer Musisi, who was the director in charge of Kiteezi, where the thing was lost? Because there was a director. She was the executive director. There was also a responsible director for the docket. Yes. During those days, for those who can remember, we can still find out. It's not a difficult thing to know.
Mr. Chairman, some clarification.
Yes, clarification.
Mr. Chairman, we are dealing with something that was addressed or should have been addressed in the Treasury Memorandum. And when you look at the Auditor General's report, when you look at the report on page, they indicate that
I want to open with you.
Page 35. Page 35, 4.3. Audit of the Treasury Memorandum.
Yes.
We would suspend this business because it is one of them. It is something that took place in the previous audit reports. So that we now have it, the whole of it, because 5 out of 14 were not implemented. That could have been one of them. Because if we now handle one piecemeal, We shall not get
Yes,
an answer.
but supposing the Treasury memorandum does not include this.
So this is
particular
where the
issue.
Lord Mayor should give us a copy of the Treasury memorandum.
A Treasury memorandum from the Lord Mayor?
Yeah, because you see the Lord Mayor works with the minister, who is the policy manager.
No, it doesn't
Yes.
work that way. Treasury memorandum is actually a responsibility of the Ministry of Finance.
Okay, but
Yes.
you know the Lord Mayor is a politician.
Yes, but is a politician.
Yes.
You see,
You see, for us to address this thing conclusively and effectively,
Actually, the
we need
Treasury...
a copy of the Treasury memorandum.
Honorable Kwizera, the Treasury memorandum is a property of Parliament because it is given to us and is audited or is
So, Mr.
scrutinized
Chairman,
by ourselves.
With
What we are
your,
going
with
to
your
do-
wisdom,
Yeah, you're not
can you
lying.
direct the clerk to avail to this committee Treasury memorandum of this entity?
It is so done. Honorable Nkunyinji, but before that, Honorable Kwizera, when you look at page 35 where you referred us, you will find that the Auditor General says out of the 14 recommendations issued, 7 recommendations were fully implemented, 2 recommendations were partially implemented, while 5 were not implemented. And he gives a table. Management of the report of the Committee on Commissioned Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises for the financial year 2021-14. Fully implemented, 7. Partially implemented, 2. Not implemented, 5. Now, this relates to those recommendations for the financial year 2021. It does not relate to the one which we are talking about of 11-12.
You see, Mr. Chairman, for us to be sure, let the Office of Auditor General show us a matrix of these partially implemented, fully implemented, and not implemented. The Auditor General should furnish this committee with those. And we find out, we convince ourselves that that is not one of them.
No. I want to make the context clear. That even if they gave you that very one that they are talking about here, which is very easy, and they can provide it, please provide it, it will not contain the issue that we are talking about. If PAC considered the issue we are discussing, that is PAC
But it has been reoccurring, Mr. Chairman. It has been reoccurring because it was never resolved.
Okay, I was here last year. I did not hear about these 2-way bridges. The point I am making, Honorable Kwizera, is that either these way bridges would have been contained in the report of 2011-12 before Parliament, or that of the CPAC if CPAC existed then. So we are going to dig for the report of 2011-12, which I have already guided that they avail us, and the report of COSASE then. I am not sure, actually. I was not on COSASE then, but we will get the report of COSASE then and see if it addressed the issue of the way bridges. Honorable Kabalindi, you were part? It never came up. So, that's why I have called for CID to come here. Because apparently, this matter has been handled in a clumsy way. And now we want to see results. Honorable Nkunyinji Mwada.
Thank you, Chair. As we wait for the CID,
Of course, we are moving.
I want to interrogate another critical aspect under 1.6. I read from the report that the department